Developing now, the deadline for a response from the Secretary of State, John Thurston, just passed. We provide new details on the latest push for expanding medical marijuana in under 30 seconds. And we're seeing more damages left behind from Hurricane Helene. In minutes, new sound and video as communities respond to the devastation. Plus, the possibilities are endless. Later in the show, we share details on a career fair in Maumelle and how it's making that a reality. This is THV 11 at noon. Well, leading us off in your election central, the sponsor of a denied amendment for expanding medical marijuana access is firing back against a decision to void the ballot measure. The group Arkansans for Patient Access is suing Secretary of State John Thurston following a decision on Monday, which resulted in the proposal being tossed due to a petition signature error. In the lawsuit, APA is now calling on the Arkansas Supreme Court in an attempt to have every signature collected certified. Here's a more in-depth look at what APA is demanding through the lawsuit. As mentioned, they're fighting for a complete signature count. In addition, they want a special master appointed for fact-finding. Finally, the group is requesting swift action to prepare the amendment for the ballot this November. In an initial statement, APA blames the denial of expanding medical marijuana on reasons they call, quote, unrelated to the proposal's merit. Sponsors of the amendment have called on the Secretary of State to respond, but as of right now, we have not received official reaction from John Thurston. Well, now taking you through the moments of last night's first vice presidential debate, Jared Hill gives you a recap of the conversation between the two sides.
Republican Senator J.D. Vance headed to the battleground state of Michigan Wednesday, following last night's vice presidential debate.
Tim just said something that I agree with.
I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said.
The nominees were overwhelmingly civil as they sparred over topics including the economy.
Kamala Harris has said to do the things she wants to do, we'll just ask the wealthiest to pay their fair share.
When people say that Donald Trump's economic plan doesn't make sense, I say look at the record. He delivered rising take-home pay for American workers.
And immigration.
We have a historic immigration crisis because Kamala Harris started and said that she wanted to undo all of Donald Trump's border policies.
We had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. But as soon as I was getting ready to pass and actually tackle this, Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue.
On abortion, Vance made this admission.
My party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us.
But Democratic Governor Tim Walz criticized Republican arguments that the issue should be left up to the states.
How can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography?
There were some tense moments, especially in a back and forth over former President Trump's refusal to accept the results of the 2020 election.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future.
That is a damning non-answer.
A new CBS News poll showed viewers were nearly split on who they think won the debate, with both men seeing their favorability ratings go up. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
All right, well, we're taking a live look outside right now from the Simmons Bank camera, and we have Milton and Gertrude. That's what we're going to call them, Jurnee. I don't know what else to call them, but they're hanging out looking for some lunch probably, and you don't want to know what is for lunch, I'm sure. But it is a great day to get outdoors, and it finally feels like October. Fall-like conditions returned this morning. You stepped outside, it felt refreshing, it was invigorating. Temperatures, the coolest that we've seen for quite some time, really, because we have not seen temperatures drop down into the mid-50s here in Little Rock since last month, early last month. 45 was the low in Clinton, 48 in Russellville. Some of you might have needed a light jacket or a light sweater before you went to the bus stop or headed out to work this morning. Here's visible satellite. We've got abundant sunshine all across the area. Temperatures are warming up though. 75 in Little Rock, 72 in Searcy, 80 in Texarkana. Here hour by hour, a gorgeous day. Highs, upper 70s, low 80s, low humidity. And that's pretty much the story all across the natural state. Maybe only into the 70s. That's it for Searcy, Batesville, Jonesboro. Mid-upper 80s will be a possibility down towards Texarkana. And tonight, it's going to be cool once again. Temperatures, most locations will drop down to the low 50s, 40s once again for Clinton and Searcy. Warmer air will be making a comeback. I'll have more on how warm it's going to get coming up.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Well, we want to make sure you understand the severity of burn bans across the state. Right now, multiple counties are being labeled at moderate risk, while places like Yale, Logan, and Johnson counties are under a strict burn ban. We're turning now to a major update on an hours-long standoff involving Pulaski County deputies and a man in Little Rock. The map you're seeing gives you a better idea of the home on Calgary Trail, where reports say that the sheriff's office tried to initiate an eviction. Our team obtained this video while on scene. According to Pulaski County Sheriff's Office, deputies exchanged fire with the man before he barricaded himself inside of a home. He eventually surrendered around 2:30 yesterday afternoon and then was taken to jail, where he remains as we speak. Also developing this afternoon, a former Arkansas mayor is facing fraud charges after being accused of stealing money. Veronica Carrier previously served as mayor of El Dorado until 2022, but now she's serving time in jail after being blasted for closing the city's Crime Stoppers account and taking the money left in it. Attorney General Tim Griffin says she used a cashier's check to take over $23,000 from the account. She allegedly used that money for a nonprofit named Parents United Against Youth Violence. Griffin says no one approved the decision to withdraw the money. On the national front, war tensions are increasing as the U.S. helps Israel defend against Tuesday's Iranian missile attack. Natalie Brand is sharing new updates on the latest military actions happening in the Middle East.
Israelis used the light of day to begin cleaning up debris from destroyed ballistic missiles the morning after Iran launched roughly 180 of them at the country.
This hit actually created a lot of damage to the houses around this park.
While there was some damage, Israel says the attack failed. Israeli air defenses, with help from U.S. naval destroyers, shot down the barrage of missiles, preventing them from hitting their intended targets.
You don't launch that many missiles at a target without the intent of hitting something. Fortunately, Israel has very significant air defense capabilities, and the U.S., of course, played a role in helping on that front as well.
The Biden administration says it's in discussions with Israel about next steps. Israel has said Iran will pay a price, and it will decide when and how it responds.
Iran will soon feel the consequences of their actions.
We've made clear that there must be consequences.
People in the region are concerned the latest escalations could lead to all-out war in the Middle East. This Iranian woman said she's worried about the children. A day after Iran's attack, Israel says intense fighting is underway against Iranian-backed Hezbollah fighters in southern Lebanon. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
October is National Bullying Awareness Month, and a Little Rock author has created a book that encourages students to prevent and address the issue. Wesley Peters is the author of Bullies. Students got a first glimpse of the book at Gibbs Elementary. Each page, featuring illustrations by G. Perkins, was reenacted in real time by the event sponsors. The goal was to show kids the importance of taking accountability. Now, if you would like to get your hands on the book, there is an opportunity this Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon. Award-winning author Wesley Peters will be at the West Central Community Center signing books. That's located at 8616 Colonel Glenn Road in Little Rock. And staying with the Little Rock School District today, they're sharing details on how they'll use grant money for their magnet schools. In just over an hour, the district will reveal the total amount of funds given to them by the U.S. Education Department. Our team will be there working to bring you new video tonight at 5 and 6. Happening around town, Whole Hog Cafe customers can expect some major changes happening to the Cantor Road location in Little Rock. Thanks to our partners with Arkansas Business, we learned the barbecue chain will expand into the wing business. Whole Hog will soon join forces with Wingate Ford to open a restaurant and kitchen right next door. Store owners say they're excited to collab as doors could open as early as this fall. Meanwhile, in Pine Bluff, leaders are hoping to use grant money to continue the work that they have been doing and been funded by a sales tax that has now expired. According to the group Go Forward Pine Bluff, they've made significant progress due to the money from that tax. But now that it has sunset, the group says their work will continue thanks to millions of dollars in grants.
It is not consistent revenue as a tax, but when you're able to get a grant, it's great, and I'm thankful for the multitude of grants and philanthropic gifts that we've gotten over the years.
The group has an additional $4.5 million to use in their back pocket. The group's CEO says it will be used for upgrading restaurants in the city's shopping district. Well, as we speak, the supply chain is at risk for disruption. Just ahead, we share what the looming strike could mean for the national economy.
Tomorrow morning could be the coolest morning that we've seen so far this season as temperatures drop down into the 40s in many areas. But the cool snap does not stick around. Temperatures warm back up this weekend. Could we hit 90 degrees once again? I'll have that answer. I'll let you know when our next chance of rain may arrive coming up.